You drinking Budlight again?
Yeah, they got a great products and their cans are unmatched in the industry.
You're not you when you drink Budlight.
What's this? Oh, that's better.
What is going on, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Friday. And it looks like there's a little bit of a silver lining right now for Anheuser-Busch. The stock is up 0.19 in market share, 0.33%, which is pretty huge, as you can see from the downward incline they've been on over the past month. Steadily going down, 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 where even the ESP has downgraded their stock options and saying it is now a hold. Do not buy the company, despite what the initial report said. Hold. It seems like after they partner with Lord Voldemort, everything has gone completely wrong for them, which, hey, no surprise here. You know, we've seen this backlash break out before in some form or another with Molson Coors doing the whole feminist agenda. Or with Maybelline partnering with aforementioned Lord Voldemort. Or more recently, Target losing $11 billion in 1 week. Now, is that all from the boycott? I don't really know. I'm not a market analyst like that. But I would say partially, at least somewhat, they're probably being affected by this boycott. And things are not looking up for Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch stock falls again toward 6-month low. Heads for worst month in nearly 2 years. And you got to think that's really crushing for them, because this is Memorial Day weekend is about to come up. That's what, in 2-3 days, Memorial Day weekend, which is, you know, pretty much the big celebration to kick off the summer, as well as, you know, a big salute to everyone who's ever given their life for our great country, and biggest shout out to everybody out there. You know, I'm not a veteran myself. My grandfather did fight in Korea, though, so I have much respect for veterans. And for everyone out there who's listening who has served our great country, I appreciate your service. Thank you very much for your sacrifice. It really does mean a lot. The U.S. listed shares of Anheuser-Busch InBev, Bud, 0.34% dropped, 1.3 in afternoon trading, which puts them on track for their 4th straight loss in a 6-month low. The Belgian-based beer brewer stock has also tumbled 12.46% in May, which is also coming off of their bad numbers in April, which would put it on course to suffer the worst monthly performance since it dropped 12.54% in July of 2021. The stock has been diving as sales of its Bud Light beer have been falling, following backlash over the brand's partnership with Dark Wizard Lord Voldemort. Anheuser-Busch's stock, which is headed for the lowest close since November 25, has declined 5.3% year to date, while the S&P 500 SPX is up 1.28%, has gained 8%. So I'm not really sure how to read stocks, anything like that. As you can see from the comments down here, I don't know if I'm going to get into reading all of them. I guess there's not that many, but you know, people are pretty happy about this. This is a very successful boycott. I know they keep calling this a conservative boycott, and I keep correcting everybody about that, because I don't think this is a conservative boycott. I think this is a sensible boycott. I think this is a, if I don't want woke identity politics shoved down my throat boycott, maybe I won't support this brand who doesn't really care about me. Why give them my money when I can just go buy a Yingling, which is a superior beer anyway, let's be honest. From ABC News, the biggest losers, Bud Light boycott hammers hundreds of independent distributors. It's disheartening, the owner of an Anheuser-Busch distributor said, which is also really a shame. Because these distributors, like I said, the factory workers, the people who are at the bottom who are going to suffer, whether they're just, you know, trying to push out this product, the bars, the distributors, the people who work in their factories, unfortunately have done nothing wrong. They're going in, they're doing their job, they're getting a lot of backlash. You know, I've seen this whole thing where, like, there was a whole thing about people calling in, you know, like explosion threats, which, you know, is really uncool. Don't do that. You know, the workers haven't done anything. They're just doing their job. They want to go home to their families. And I have much respect for blue collar workers. But, you know, I think, honestly, if you want to make it right, the CEO should probably take a pay cut. Personally, I mean, there's everything terrible has happened on their watch. And if you know, the higher up you go, the more ish you gotta eat. So I think they should, you know, take accountability. But, you know, so far we're almost 2 months into this boycott here, and it hasn't happened. But real quick before I get into this, I want to applaud everybody who has stopped buying this product, who has paid, voted with their wallet, who has said enough is enough. You guys are the real heroes of this story. You really are. Truck drivers delivering Bud Light have received the middle finger from passerbys. Distributors have faced intentional collisions from shopping carts as they drop off beer, and vendors have endured homophobic jokes calling them gay beer salesmen, according to top officials at several beer distribution companies. And again, I'm going to say that's all pretty misplaced. Truck drivers, have nothing to do with this boycott. They are literally delivering a product. They're doing their job. So please, you can make a much bigger statement being civil and voting with your wallet. Just don't consume the product. That sends a loud and clear message. There's no reason to, harass blue-collar Americans who are just literally doing their job. They have nothing to do with this boycott. Whether they work for the company or not, they have nothing to do with the higher-up decisions. So please don't do that. You'd be better off writing a strongly worded email to the CEO, but even that, you vote with your wallet. That's what affects these companies. While Anheuser-Busch InBev weathers a consumer boycott of Bud Light over a promotion from a trans influencer, the fallout is hitting hundreds of independent, often family-owned distributors that sell and deliver Bud Light to stores, bars, and restaurants. Bud Light has recorded declining sales for 6 consecutive weeks after a product endorsement from Lord Voldemort, Dark Wizard, set off ire among many conservatives. Again, sensible leftists, moderates, people who don't want identity politics shoved down their throats. Sorry, I gotta put an asterisk there. I always have to correct that. This is not just a conservative boycott. The losses have strained Anheuser-Busch distributors that draw a significant portion of the revenue from Bud Light, the company's top-selling beer. Anson Ferrix, an executive who left Anheuser-Busch InBev last year, told ABC News, and that person is very lucky. You got out when it was good. The biggest losers here are the 500 independent businesses in the U.S. that distribute Anheuser-Busch products. I would 100% agree. Ferrix said, those are the people really hurting. And that's unfortunately a byproduct of this whole stupid, woke ideology that for some reason a beer company is trying to get on top of and push. Very odd. You would think they would hire people who are really good at marketing, but I guess Alyssa Heinerschneit was just not up to the task. Company leaders at 4 different distributors told ABC News they have faced revenue losses and have weighed responses such as supplementing the incomes of salespeople paid on commission or burnishing the local brand with additional sponsorship of community events, which honestly, I would save your money. I don't think that's going to help. I really don't. There's a negative stigma around drinking Bud Light at the moment. And they're between a rock and a hard place. I don't know if anything you're going to do. Time is probably the only thing that's going to make this better. People, tend to forgive over time. I don't know if that'll happen in this case, but it probably will if history is any indicator. Distributors voiced frustration with Anheuser-Busch over its inability to anticipate the backlash, and some faulted irate consumers for failing to understand the consequences of their boycott for independent sellers. Of course, they put woke identity politics before the people who were actually pushing their product, which is a complete setup for failure. And now every independent distributor has completely lost faith in them because now you're putting their livelihoods in jeopardy. This is not complicated stuff here. It really isn't. You should be looking out for the people who look out for you, who are helping you to distribute this product, but you're not. You care more about this woke ideology, these woke identity politics, inserting yourself into places that you really don't belong. Sell your beer. I mean, since the company's inception, you've been doing it fairly well. But as Arnold Rothstein once said, reputation takes a lifetime to build, only seconds to destroy. Some of the distributors declined to share their names because they didn't want to be publicly identified speaking about the business environment amid the boycott. Well, that's totally acceptable. I feel like my main suppliers put the wholesalers and their employees in a really bad spot. The president of an Anheuser-Busch beer distributor told ABC News. It's frustrating. I 100% agree. Speaking about consumers engaged in the boycott, one Anheuser-Busch beer distributor in the Pacific Northwest told ABC News it's sad that they can't make that disconnect between the independent wholesaler and a big corporation. It's disheartening. Well, the unfortunate thing about that is it's all tied together. And I say that with not saying that any independent wholesaler, anybody who's distributing the product, they have done nothing wrong. But everything trickles down from the top. And that's just the truth of the matter. So I do have empathy for these, the people distributing the product. I do. Because it's not their fault. They haven't done anything wrong. And now they're being screwed by this. But it is what it is. Not to be callous, but Overall, sales of Bud Light fell nearly 25% over the week ending on May 13 compared to the same period a year ago, according to, I've already got into all these statistics and whatnot. And I'm sure it's just going to go on and on like this for a little bit. And, it's just that people are very frustrated. And I think this is terrible. I feel really bad for, the people selling this product, the bars, the clubs, the distributors. People who, their livelihood depends on this stuff. And now people are going to go other places. They can't sell the stock they've already bought. Unless Bud Light makes a good faith effort to buy back the product, which I've heard, that they're saying they're going to, whether they actually do it or not, because that's a huge loss to them. I'm not actually sure the shelf life of beer. But, I do feel empathy for these people. It's just they're kind of caught in the crossfire. It's unfortunate. Really, they got nobody to blame, though. They can't blame the consumers. They can only blame Anheuser-Busch. The marketing execs, the CEOs. They're the people who didn't look out for you. You put your faith in them and they screwed you. File a lawsuit. Maybe that would work. Anyway, that's all I got. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It definitely helps out the algorithm because they don't want me talking about this. You can see on even major channels, it's going downhill, the engagement you get from these stories. But like I said, I'm going to keep covering it because I'm very interested. I think this is a great boycott. I'm very happy with everyone who's actually gone out there, voted with their wallets, all that stuff. And now I'm rambling, so I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you for listening this long, and I will catch you all on the next one. Later.